not so fun adventures that I'm having is a bolt sheared off when I was disconnecting the air conditioner. I really do not want to disconnect the air conditioning lines or discharge the air conditioning system. So to get that out, I'm going to use a spring-loaded punch to get me started with my drill, make a little hole, and then try to get that out with a speed out tool. I really, thank goodness somebody invented these. So this is that thermal barrier slash sound insulation that I was describing earlier. This is what I'm doing. Like this plate, this is an internal passenger side, that's driver's left, engine cover that goes up under the seat. So the part that faces the engine is going to get a heat barrier here in a minute. So here's the before and, well, the after, rather. That's the driver's seat, and I've pretty much squeezed this thing to oblivion, but I like to use this adhesive. It's a clear adhesive called 6000. Not very expensive. It's a, I don't know, I think it's a general purpose glue that works pretty good. And yeah, the material has an adhesive backing, but of course you need a little more help to make it stay long term. And I think this is going to do it. And I think that'll make it a lot cooler in the summer, having this barrier. I'm going to do before and after as I install some of this heat barrier. This is a good look at the area that's going to be covered. There's some surface rust that has been sealed with clear Rust-Oleum, and this is kind of the remainder of the area that's going to be covered up. Well, the starter has arrived to solve that mistake that I made vis-a-vis the brushes on, yeah, I broke that one on the original starter, because contrary to what I thought, I could not get the rotor and windings back in. I couldn't get the I'm not going to be able to show it on camera, but those brushes compress in, they're spring loaded, and I was mistaken. I could not get those depressed back into the retracted position to reinstall the rotor. So my advice, don't take your starter apart unless you're sure that you can do that. But I will get this in today, hopefully. Documenting the process. I've got just about everything that can be tightened up on the power unit and subframe that can be done before installation. I've gotten all that stuff tightened up. All the hoses are replaced. Rear main seal, front main seal, camshaft seal, water pump, timing belt. Did I mention the hoses? Gosh, those hoses were a pain in the ass. That was way more money than I expected to spend. But I've got just about everything in place that can go in place. And I'm gonna roll this back out. My ramp's not quite tall enough to fit the engine under. So I've got to roll the chassis out, wheel the powertrain into position, then hoist I use a come along to get it up onto the ramps when there's no engine in it. Probably won't try to bolt it in today, but I'm close. All right, I have the power unit in place, and it's time to bring the chassis back up onto the rack. I am finished with the first oil change. I cranked it up and I ran it for 3 separate times at 3 minutes per. I've got a bunch of leaks down here, but that's spillage from replacing the water. I put distilled water in before I put coolant in case I had leaks. And I've changed the oil in the oil filter after running it for, I guess, a total 9-10 minutes maybe. And I didn't have any leaks. And I think let's see, I've just changed the oil and I bet the filter hasn't filled yet. I don't fill mine. Let's see what that oil light does. Yeah, went out pretty quick. Okay. So I still have some vacuum hoses to review video and figure out exactly where they go, and put on the air intake snorkel and the air cleaner. But it's like progress. New belts. Should be back on the road soon. Okay, the Midget 2 is out of the shop, running on its own power. Don't appear to be any leaks. And yeah, I'm not ready to call success yet, but so far no problems. By the way, I've probably not mentioned this, and I should. You really don't have to disassemble your vehicle like I've done mine. Mine is, I did that because of a constraint on width and the fact that, you know, I don't have a proper lift. I've got a drive on rack, so I have to put the, you know, the cherry picker, so to speak, in through the doors. And just because it's such a limited space, that's the only reason I take the fenders and doors off. But if you have plenty of room and a proper lift, you shouldn't have any problems doing it without removing the door.